Okay. Alrighty, I'm going to share my screen. So if I just fluff this, okay, this is like one of the first ones, especially I'm trying to hold it. So I'm sure you've all been there and we're all learning. So it's like, let's go. Okay, that's going to open. Okie dokie. Okay, so basically I've invited you all today because we're all very conscious about the active wellness and what that means and how we can achieve it through various elements that we drink the water, we eat the nutritionals, but also what are we coming into contact with and how can we have the best environment for us all to have a really healthy life that doesn't involve taking the tablets. Why did I get involved? Because at 21, I had an autoimmune, which struck like arthritis. I couldn't move for 12 months. And I had a GP that turned around to me and my doctor turned to me and said, I'll never have a job working on my feet. Well, I like to think I've proved them wrong. I've become pretty mobile. So what is grounding or earthing in some different categories? So what is grounding? Also called earthing, is a therapeutic technique that involves doing activities that connect you either to the earth or energies that have been replicated to reflect the earth's energies. So why would you ground? Well, obviously one of the major things is your immune system. It's charging your batteries. We're like a mobile phone. If we don't get plugged in, we don't get charged up. So I'm going to just quickly show this. It's about 2 minutes. I hope this is going to work.
There's no sound. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, sorry.
Ursula, maybe you can just talk about it.
Okay, so
You don't need words. The actions are perfect.
Sound.
You don't need words, Ursula. The action is perfect. Just sit back and enjoy it.
I agree.
Yeah, it was self-explanatory.
So there's no sound,
Right.
because I actually did the
Amazing.
sound coming through the computer, so it's obviously not coming through.
But it was almost more effective with no sound.
Yeah, because you have to
Amazing.
watch rather than listen. So it's just kick the shoes off. Yeah, we all feel great. Yeah, you go walk on the beach or you go walk in the grass. We all feel better. But the question is, why do we feel better? So I obviously work with biofeedback. And this is how I got involved with Niken, because I could see what would happen when I did certain things. So this picture shows how perfect our energy should be. So you can see all the areas of the body. You can see those lovely, lovely, lovely straight lines and all one color. Now that's what we should be like. But are we? No. So this was about 3 weeks ago, and this was me. And you can see the first thing is the graph. It shows all the energies all over the place, total chaos. In the head area, that's very high colors. When you see pink, white, indigos, that's very stress orientated. And what's happening, because the mind was overactive, it's draining the body of the energy. So it's very yellow in the body. That's a very low energy. So basically, you can see the body's in distress, has no energy. So I thought, well, I better listen to myself. And I actually went to a local park and took the shoes and socks off, feet on the ground, and laid in the sun. And 1 hour was all I did, and felt better. Came back. Now look at the difference. 1 hour with the feet connected to Mother Earth. You've got that beautiful blue, and you've got the straight lines. The body completely calmed down and recharged itself just by taking the shoes off. Now, I've had somebody said to me they actually go to a beach and lie naked on the beach. Well, what rocks your boat, yeah, it's like, that's fine. But to me, this is really critical. People need to understand how easy this is. So, it's grounding. Well, basically what is happening is it's causing all the red blood cells to develop charge. So basically they distance themselves from each other and have free flowing. So because what is actually happening within our current climate is our bodies are so inflamed, and that's where the pain is coming. But as you can see here on the left are all the cells that have clumped together. On the right, 45 minutes after grounding, they're all free flowing. But what does that actually mean for your body? Well, here, now, on the left is a body with the knees are inflamed. So all the red and the yellow. Now remember that image I showed you of me being stressed was all the reds and the yellows. 30 minutes, and this is a thermographic image. This is totally different equipment to the one I have. But on the right, after 30 minutes, no pain. The inflammation has gone. Somebody's got mute. Can someone mute if you're walking around with pots and pans, please? Again, the red, yellow, there's the inflammation. Thermographic imaging. On the right, no more inflammation. That simple. That simple. So Mary Chiba, thank you very much for forwarding this, because I absolutely love it, and I think we all should prepare something like this. So Mary did a little experiment. She took 2 women. In fact, Mary, do you want to explain while it's running? Because it's obviously going to come across in Spanish, although you're not going to hear it.
No, it's okay. You go ahead, and if there is a question, I can answer.
Oh, okay. So basically, the concept being, take your shoes and socks off. She had 2 women stand with their backs. I know, we do some weird stuff. Love it. She can, they can support Mary's weight when they're barefoot on the grass. But now look what happens when she's on man-made concrete. Now watch what happens. They can't hold. They have no energy. So the difference, standing on the ground compared with standing on man-made products. And we walk around with shoes with man-made products. All right?
Right.
So how important is that? And how many people actually really know about it? Very few. But the question is, can we have grounding indoors? Is it possible? Because it's great if you live in a nice warm country where you can go out to the beach every day, that's great. But obviously there's people in Canada here that have 6 months of snow, and it's not a good idea to be walking around in barefoot. So the question is, what can we do? What is possible? So obviously, Niken, love the company, 1975, founded in Japan, and basically looked at the body's energy. And yes, everything they produce is kind to the body, kind to the planet, but it's looking at the energetic field of the body and what can be done to support it. Because in this day and age, we're all tucked away at home, especially in the winter. And if you think about it, why does flu spread in the winter rather than the summer? Because we're not getting our immune system boosted. So you might look at this lot and go, what on earth is that? I mean, so basically there's a range of products that are magnetic in base, but what the magnetic products do is replicate the Earth's energy. And I'm going to prove that to you in just a minute. So whether it's you put something in underneath your feet, like in the insoles in your shoes, I wear mine in my trainers wherever I go walking. There's also, so these are products that can go with you anywhere you like. My seat is with me now, behind here, protects on the computer, but it's traveled on planes, trains, automobiles, wherever, so that I can consistently calm, keep my anxiety. I suffer a lot with anxiety attacks, and it keeps me calm, calm, calm. But you can, as the little diagram, the little video shows, there's also mat, so that you can plug into the earthing point, which directly connects you to Mother Earth. So you've got two different things, but basically are doing exactly the same thing. So take a look at this. Again, I want to show you the before, the after. So this is another lady that has the same product as I do, the Biopulsar, and looks at. So a 70-year-old lady, on the left was the base reading, so before any contact with the magnetics. And again, you see on the left, it's the reds and the yellows, same coloring. On the right, after 1 hour, I've been sat on the seat pad and having a belt on. She experienced warmth. We can see quite clearly her energy's changed because it's now green. We're heading to the greens. But she also had feeling and some tingling. So we knew there was some activity. So something was happening to our energy field. So Mary showed us what happens when you went barefoot on the grass. Now we're going to show you something else. So this is what's happening here is he's going to try exactly the same thing, leaning on the person, and there's no structure, no energy whatsoever. Now he's put it on the insoles, which is the Earth's energy, like Mary had on the grass. Now look. Look at the difference. That's instant. Stick back away. He's going to do it again just to prove a point. So he just touches her and she falls over. There we go. So the magnetics are the replication of Earth's energy for us to be in contact with and live well. So grounding can be indoors and outdoors. So this is the big one, because without good sleep, we can't survive. We literally can't survive. We think we can. Yeah, we put every excuse, we do 3 hours or 4 hours. We can cope, can we? So the ideal would be to go camp outdoors, lie on the beach, and soak up the Earth's energies. But guess that's not going to really happen for most of us. It's too darn cold, especially here in the UK right now. So what if you could have the Earth's energies underneath you, on top of you? So you are like snug as a bug in a rug, as we would say. Yum. What if you could do that? What would happen? What would happen if you were surrounded and touching the Earth's energies for 8 or 9 hours at night time? What would happen, do you think? So I'm just going to make a little reminder. This is the perfect, what we all aspire to. This is how we should be. Every single day, calm, no stress on the body, because when we put stress on the body, the inflammation starts, pain. Oh, shouldn't have that word. Ooh. So here's the perfect, all nice straight lines once again. Okay, I think the word chaos comes to mind. So what you can see here, you can see straight away that the energy fields all over the body are absolute in distress, period. And why that's happening is, again, the white in the brain area is severe stress, trauma base. And because of that, it's draining, again, all the energy out of the body, out the physical body. So fatigue. And the reason I know this is me. You know, I don't use other people's, you know, activity. I only use my examples. And basically this was because I had a trauma and I had about 8 months of no sleep, day in, day out, day in, day out. And I thought I was functioning. You always think you're functioning. And in the end, I finally got convinced that I should get this sleep system. This is what I needed. And the day it arrived was like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And I was desperate to go to bed. I just wanted to go and try. But I hung off, and it was like 8 o'clock at night. And I finally just went, I'm going. And I fell asleep, and I woke up, and it was 6 o'clock in the morning. And I'd had my first full night's real sleep. And basically I felt like I'd won the lottery. It was the most incredible feeling. And I thought, well, okay, let's go and see if the proof is correct. You know, has it had an impact on my energy, or is it just because I've had a night's sleep? So what happened? This happened. Total calm was restored to my body. My body was completely energized and at peace and balanced. So for me, well, I didn't even need to look at it because I knew how my body was feeling. Now, the question is, there's the perfect. You can't get much closer to that than you can with that. So the ideal scenario is being in contact with nature in some form, be it external, indoors, 24/7, and you will be the healthiest, most active you can possibly be. So we're all not much good at self-care, let's be honest, especially women. We always come at the back of the queue. But this is a way that you can have total self-care. So whether you want to go out to the beach or work in a field, do it for you. Make sure that it replaces your energy. So, Niken, some of you here are new, you're guests, and please go back to the person that invited you on this call if you'd like some more information. With us as a consultant, you can help us in the biggest mission ever. Is we need to get this message out there across the world that people do not need to have drugs. They can be incredibly healthy with nature's energies. Humans being more. That's me. I want to sit on the beach 24/7, and doing this, I can work wherever I want. As many of you know, I've kind of worked all over the world just by doing this. So I'm going to stop share. And any questions, any thoughts, any testimony? Yeah. Have you got any thoughts, or does grounding work for you? Yeah.
When you had inflammation or anyone and it takes the discomfort away, does the discomfort come back if you're not using it?
No. It's basically what happens. Oh, obviously, if you don't do it for 6 months, but if you do it, like depending on the products you use and the grounding, you just need a regular, like it's like a regular, like it literally is like a mobile cell phone. Go plug yourself in. You're an electrical being that needs to have a recharge. And we're not doing it. We're tucking ourselves up inside a house. All the doors and windows are shut. No fresh air is coming through. We have no contact with nature. And we're wearing shoes that invariably are rubber based. So you can't connect with nature. We need to connect. In the shamanic medicine, we're all literally connected. Whether it's the trees, the rocks, whatever it is, we need to connect into that cycle. Totally.
Ursula, 21 years ago, I was introduced to Nikan Technologies. I got my health back. I'm in my 70s and on no prescription drugs of any kind. I have a chronic condition that was diagnosed at age 7, and that's totally controlled thanks to the Nikan Technologies and nutritionals.
Fantastic.
Now, a son of mine was injured at work 13 years ago now, and he hadn't slept for 12 years. If he awakened through the night to go to the washroom, he couldn't get back to sleep because he'd torn all the healthy tissue underneath the shoulder blade, had surgery, and the surgeon said if he injured himself again, they couldn't do any more surgery because there wasn't enough healthy tissue remaining. And he did get injured again on the job. When the grounding mat came out, I gave it to him for Christmas. And in 1 week, he called me and he said, "Mom, I'm sleeping the night through without awakening at all. When I awaken in the morning, I have no tension or stress or discomfort in my neck or shoulders. And I think maybe by this summer, I'll be able to get back to some of the activities that I've had to give up." So that's a year now. He's still sleeping the night and he is resuming some of his activities gently. And he uses the grounding pad as soon as he comes home from work as well to reduce the inflammation that has developed during the work time. So I'm a true believer in having the grounding pad in the home. It's under my laptop right now. It's also on my bed in conjunction with the sleep system. And I will never be without these technologies because I'm a very active person at my age and have more energy and mobility than many people that are 20 years younger than I am. And it's all because of Nikan and the fact that they base everything on the Earth's natural energy, and all their technologies are based on nature. So there's no side effects. There's no reason not to use it to get your health into an optimal state and maintain it.
Thank you, Barb. I really appreciate you sharing that with us. Has anybody else got a story they'd like to share?
Hello, I don't have a story, but I would like to know how you get those pictures. I mean, if I want to check my health, you had 2 pictures, that before and after. How do I get that picture?
Well, I'm recording this, so you can definitely pick up the recording.
Right.
I can share the pictures, but I can't do yours because it's actually a biofeedback equipment that I own. That's how I can do it. But I know, like, Paddy up in Belgium found another practitioner and Patty went and had her energy done. So it's a really useful tool for sure.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. So anybody else? Do we have any questions in the box or any statements? Because I can't read the chat box right now.
What is the
No,
brand?
I've checked, Ursula.
Sorry.
Sorry, I was just wondering, what is the brand of the biofeedback equipment that you have?
It's called a biopulsar reflexograph. It's manufactured in Germany.
Thanks.
No problem. I can always, Patty knows it as well. So I'm sure Patty can share that with you. It's very useful. So yeah. Colette.
I think that biopulsar is probably more effective than the thermal imaging images, because it's instant. It's showing you how you are now and how you are after.
Yeah.
It's quite a useful tool. But you've trained in that, obviously. That's your business.
I've been working with it for like 10 years now. So yes. And in fact, Lucy will support me with this one. Lucy was the first person I ever came in contact with, and so I went to see Lucy, and it was, I was really like, nah, I'm gonna take my biopulsar and see what happens. And so I rocked up at Lucy's, and the first thing I said, we'll check where I'm at, and I made it really hard because I drank loads of caffeine, which basically makes my energy just go all over the place. I can really only have one coffee, but I had 4 that morning. And then basically I said, give me something small. And we actually tried the bracelet. It was the Nikken, one of these, which we love. And put my hand back on with the bracelet. And we literally watched as my energy went from here and calmed down. And that was it. It was like, wow. So that was it. I was sold.
Yeah, it really is. I'm sorry, Patricia, just for a minute. It really is a no-brainer in our modern world, even without these fabulous visuals. If you listen to how your body feels when we connect to our modern conveniences, i.e. our cell phones and going online, there is a price to pay, and we pay that price with our energy. And here we have the most wonderful, innovative company in Nikken, who have been working so hard on our behalf to help us cope and live in this modern world without suffering the negative consequences. Yeah?
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Ursula, if somebody doesn't have access to a biofeedback practitioner, there are people out there with thermal cameras.
Yeah,
We'll do a thermographics image before and after, and depending upon who you get, and they may be in the construction industry because they use that type of camera a lot in home building and commercial buildings to determine if there's been insulation left out behind the drywall or a water leak. They use it to determine that, but they can take an image of your body before and after because the camera shows if there's too much heat in one area. So that is an option if biofeedback is not accessible.
Well, that's why I showed the thermographic images, because it actually
Curtis Bennett.
Same colors. Yeah, you get the red yellows when it's the body's inflamed. Yeah, with grounding, you get the green blue. So if you went to one of the clinics, I know there's quite a lot that actually have thermographic cameras now across US and Canada. I'm not so sure here in the UK or Europe, but I know over there they do. So you could go approach them and say, look, I want to check my energy, but I also want to do this afterwards. So
Curtis Bennett of the company Thermographics, I think it's thermographics.com. He did a number of tests for Nikken years ago. He was asked to become a consultant and he refused because he said he was more effective in the field taking pictures of the before and after than he could be with an actual connection to the company. But there are DVDs out there of tests that he has done on horses, on dogs, and of course on humans.
Yeah, well, we know animals is, it's not, people say, oh, it's the placebo effect. Well, you've only got to look at an animal that's walking around and then sits on a pet pad and then, or goes down on the beach and then suddenly, they're fully mobile. So it's no brainer. We just need to go back, connect to our roots. That's what this is all about. It's like, so Patty, sorry.
No, just wanted to share a couple of things from the different comments that we've heard. And one of them that was actually funny is that the no placebo effect that animals have. Both my cats and my dog love wherever I put my magnetic things or my grounding pad. So if I have my grounding pad and I get up to get a glass of water, I'm going to find somebody furry on it. It's immediate. It's incredible. My pillow is the same thing. My sleep system is the same thing. So yeah, absolutely. Animals don't have any preconceived ideas or any placebo effect.
Oh, is it energy or not energy? Oh, okay.
I will find a furry critter if I leave them unattended.
The same thing with our water. Guests at our B&B did an experiment with 5 different sources of water. And as long as the Pyme water was available, 3 cats and 2 dogs drank it 100% of the time. If you removed that source, they drank the pond water because it most replicated the function of the waterfall.
For sure.
They documented it over a period of 6 hours.
Yeah, no, it's the same. I agree with you. So, so if you got any other questions or anybody else wants to add something before we, Kathleen?
Yeah, I just wanted, because not all of us have got a biofeedback or a thermographic, camera near us. However, I thought the illustrations on the grass and then on the concrete, the strength thing, were fantastic illustrations. So we can check what our energy is like just by, getting together with some friends. It's when we can do that, by the way, I'm just realizing. But so that's another test.
Yeah, and a very simple one. You can have some fun. Yeah, it's like, so yeah. So thank you, Mary, for sharing that one. That was like, okay, before we go, one last question. Colette.
Yeah, just to answer Kathleen there, and everybody here, let's not get caught up with the technology. We're going to have to start listening to how our bodies feel. Rightly so, we're not going to have a thermal imaging machine.
No.
Let's just start trusting how your body feels when you're using the products and when you're in, I sometimes I say, how do you feel when you're in a supermarket? And then compare that feeling to when you're walking in the beach or walking on a field, or when you're sleeping in your sleep system.
Yeah.
Or when you're when you get into your car and you sit into your car seat. One is a natural environment, a healing environment, and one is an artificial environment. So let's just start listening to how your body reacts in both environments.
Yep, I totally agree with you. That's the key. In yourself. You even know when you go to eat something and your body's going, nah. So it's just listening. But what I wanted to achieve today was just to show you that what we believe is absolutely 100% correct. Grounding helps your energy. The magnetics help your energy. So anything that supports you has to be a good thing. The more we recognize how improved our health is doing this, the greater our health will be 20 years from now. I don't know about you, but okay, I'm 61. I'm determined at 81, I'm still going to be doing the same things as I'm doing right now. So whatever support I need, my body gets it.
Absolutely.
And I've been doing it 21 years.
Well, there you go. So everybody, we're going to draw to a close. Yeah, I tried to keep it 30 minutes, but love having you here today. Absolutely fantastic. I love the fact we're sharing stories and stuff. I think this is where this is where it all happens. This is the magic happens. So if you want a copy of the recording, then obviously get in touch with whomever, and happy to supply that. And I'm going to take that off.